Futurama is back on Hulu. After a 10-year hiatus from his last iteration on Cartoon Network, creators Matt Groening and David Cohen are soaring into a new 20-episode season. If you aren't fortunate to have watched this show before, this fan-favorite animated sci-fi show first aired back in 1999 on Fox, before two subsequent reboots on Adult Swim that ran from 2008 to 2013. Futurama centers around a pizza delivery boy named Philip J. Fry, who falls into a cryogenic chamber on New Year's Eve 1999. He awakens 1,000 years later into a marvelous world of Jetson-like technology and gadgets where he connects with a one-eyed girl named Leela and a boozy, bonkers robot named Bender. You see, Futurama still stands as one of the best animated series of all time, and even though it saw a slight decline in quality when it was brought back on Comedy Central years after Fox canceled it, it still produced some great episodes, filled with hilarious character moments, creative story beats, and emotional endings. However, as with any character, you take the good with the bad. And while there are some truly great moments throughout Futurama's initial 7-season run, there's also enough bad episodes to remember that not every show gets it 100% right. So what I want to do is go through some of the worst episodes from Futurama's initial 7-season run. And firstly, in Season 2, Episode 19, we get the Cryonic Woman. And despite the fact that this episode stars the amazingly funny Sarah Silverman, there's just not a lot of good things that can be said about this episode. The episode finds Fry's ex-girlfriend, Michelle, traveling to the future and reuniting with him. However, she does not quite fit in with all of Fry's weird friends. The episode focuses a lot on Michelle's constant complaining and insulting of Fry. It doesn't really do her any favors as a character, and the story itself is resolved in a fairly uninspired way. After Fry and Michelle find themselves in a barren wasteland, which they believe is another 1,000 years in the future, it turns out it is just Los Angeles a few days later. In Season 5, Episode 3, we get the root of all evil. You see, there are plenty of Futurama episodes where not a lot happens, but they still get filled with great jokes, character beats, and usually pretty funny twists in the third act. Episodes like Future Stock, Law and Oracle, and even Less Than Hero come to mind. However, the root of all evil has none of those things and sticks out like a sore thumb. The main issue with this episode is that the A story revolves around Cubert and Dwight, the clone and son of the professor and Hermes, respectively. They start their own paper route and take over Planet Express, but eventually, everything falls apart when they reveal that they have been cutting corners. There's no emotional payoff or humorous twist in this episode, plus the main crew is set aside to a B story about brewing beer and Bender. In Season 7, Episode 9, we get Free Will Hunting. It is well known for Futurama fans that Seasons 6 and 7 might not have entirely lived up to the sharp writing and episode structures of the original 4 seasons, but they certainly had their inspired moments. However, Free Will Hunting is not one of them, and it unfortunately lacks any of the inspired storytelling that the show is known for. After Bender is arrested, which, shocker, he is let go on the technicality that, as a robot, he has no free will, feeling depressed by the fact that nothing he has ever done is his own choice. Bender embarks on a quest for meaning, stopping in at a monastery before returning to Earth. The episode's plot is far too linear to be interesting, and never really culminates in a satisfying ending. It might not be the absolute worst episode, but it's far from the best. The last episode I want to talk about is in Season 7, Episode 19. We get Saturday Morning Fun Pit. When Futurama is finally winding down and approaching its final episodes, you would think it would be a time to be presenting the best content the writers could have come up with. Or you would think that's what would happen. Unfortunately, audiences were mostly stuck with episodes like Saturday Morning Fun Pit. This is the low point of Futurama's creativity. The episode takes on old Saturday morning cartoons like Scooby-Doo and G.I. Joe, but doesn't really say anything about them besides the obvious. Cheap animation, shows that were really used as advertising, and too much violence. It stands not only as the worst anthology episode, but just one of the worst of all time. Regardless of how bad or great these episodes are to you, there's no denying the magic of Futurama. In fact, even rounding up a list of bad Futurama episodes was definitely a chore to do, which is a testament to the creative genius behind the show. With a show that has as many episodes as Futurama, you are bound to get a runt of the litter, or so to speak, eventually. It tends to happen, and we definitely know Futurama isn't the only show like this. Of course, this is purely based on my opinion, and if you are all interested in some of my favorite episodes, then let me know down below and I'll definitely make a video. In the meantime, I am interested in some of your favorite or least favorite Futurama episodes down below, and in the meantime, I'll see you all later.